we are here with Coram. And Coram, I understand you're a recreational runner for the most part.
That is correct.
Tell me a little bit about your history with running.
Well, I did some track in high school, did some pole vaulting, so I ran maybe 10, 15 yards, I guess, to get to the pits. But when I met my wife, she is a big runner, and so we started running a little longer distances, started in 5, 10Ks, and then eventually we got into doing marathons. We one a year usually is what we'll do.
How many marathons have you done so far?
Done 10. I've done the St. George Marathon 9 times.
Wow.
And so I get slower and slower every year, I think.
So
That's why I'm recreational.
Right, okay. So tell me, first of all, what were you using before you tried XOJO for your running?
Nothing.
Nothing? Did you ever use just like water?
Oh yeah, obviously water. I tried the goos. I guess, so I did try some stuff usually in the races. Usually if they hand it out, it's free.
Yeah.
I take it.
But what are the obstacles when you run that those create?
So the problem, recreational, because I'm very inconsistent with my training and my running, so I don't necessarily train for the runs. So I kind of go out and I just take some Gatorade here or there, take some goos. And what I found with XOJO, when I started using the XOJO, I found that I was able to run longer and harder in my training, and so therefore it helped me with my minimal amount of training. It would help me perform in the race, and which I needed all the help I can get since I didn't train as much as I should have.
So tell me about the difference that you felt once you started using XOJO for your runs.
Well, the big thing I noticed is, because I was told just, you take in a container and you sip it every 15 minutes on a longer run. So if I was going to be out there for an hour and a half, every 15 minutes I would make note to sip, the XOJO, and it wasn't too much. In a bottle I would maybe put half the bottle to take with me, and then I just sip it every 15 minutes, and I enjoyed that because, like in the marathon, this last marathon I ran out of my XOJO probably about mile 13, 14 into it, and then I noticed I was trying to compensate with anything else I could find. The Gatorade, you got to drink a lot of it to fulfill the nutrients in my body, and by the end I'm just wanting to throw up, and it's almost like I couldn't even sip any more Gatorade because it's just too much. And so with the XOJO, I like the fact that you just sip it here and sip it every 15 minutes, and it kind of helps you to maintain that energy level.
So you don't have to use anywhere near as much liquid then, it sounds like. That's really interesting that you said that you ran out. So do you feel like maybe because of how much you sweat or your body size, you should have had more XOJO with you?
I think so, because my wife runs and she can go get by with just maybe half a bottle or something.
Okay. For the whole.
I don't know if it's whole or yeah. I'll have to ask her that.
Okay.
She's always too fast, so I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you said that you ran out of the XOJO during the marathon. So do you feel like maybe because you sweat more, or you're a bigger person than your wife who's using less, and you should have used more?
I tend to really drink and try to hydrate myself a lot.
Okay.
And so I noticed that I took a full bottle with me, and it ran out probably 13, 14 miles into it. And I could use another one, but then trying to compensate with all the Gatorade. By the time, because I kind of planned out I'd sip it every mile.
Mm-hmm. And
so if I would have planned a little more accordingly, then I probably would have been okay. But I think because I sweat a lot, and so I'm always drinking a lot of water, a lot of fluids to keep me hydrated, and so I probably needed more for that race. And it was a warm day too. So.
Absolutely. So that's a really good point that not everyone is the same size, or like you said, doesn't sweat the same. So it's important to use it and train with it beforehand so that we know. How much
that's the key. I think that's the key, is to train with it, and that's what I love about it too, because it helped me in my training to where I could run longer and harder and feel that energy. And so if you can train harder, that means for most people you can perform better in the race.
Gotcha.
But since I'm a little more recreational, the race is just kind of a toss-up.
Gotcha. So do you still use the goos, or recommend using other products with XOJO?
This last marathon I didn't use any goos because they're kind of nasty, because it's like sucking down like old syrup that's kind of dried out, and you really have to try to wash it down. And so this way you're getting that fluid, you're getting those nutrients, protein that you need without, having to just, slosh it down with all this extra fluids.
What do you think about the taste and just like the overall consistency? And what's the experience there?
It's okay, with any of these supplemental drinks and stuff. It's never, it's never Kool-Aid, but it's definitely manageable. It's something that, it's easier to get down because it is in liquid form rather than one of the goos. Or I even took some of the shock blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, I get kind of sick of them after taking so many of them. And once again, with this, being able to sip every mile or so, the intake is a lot less than putting down,
right.
a couple different bags of them.
Yeah. So do you think as you go forward, are you going to continue using XOJO?
Yes. If my wife lets me use her stash of it, then I would like to continue. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing your experience with us, and we see XOJO making a huge difference in the runner, in the world of running, so appreciate you.
And I hope it makes a difference to my running, because I need it. So step up from recreational.